because then it's sort of like the lines had been drawn and these places I couldn't cross or go to. So you can imagine how much pressure it was at the time. Like if someone sees me in a matatu, they're like, I thought she's the founder of Networking in Heels, so there's all those things that you're struggling through and you're powering through, and you're trying to be as authentic as possible, not to live a fake life to show people that you've made it when really you're figuring yourself out as well. Doing Networking in Heels has really helped me to figure myself out, and even just to find my own footing and find my own place in society. Even with the question of, so who are you? Who are your parents? Where did you come from? Where did you grow up? There's all those questions coming up, and it was very uncomfortable to me because nobody had ever asked me who I am and where I'm from before I started doing the event. Yeah, so, and then I never had to question my identity or question if I'm doing things the right way before then. So it was a bit insane. Excuse me, just a minute, guys. Just a minute.
While she gets back, if you're having any questions you want to ask Violet, you can prepare them. We shall allocate some time for us to ask questions. You're welcome back, Violet.
Thank you. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Yeah. So there was that question of, who are you? And I really felt like I've come from, there was a buzz like this chick has come from nowhere. Like we don't know who she is and everything. But that was not going to turn me away from the market. I felt, okay, fine. I may not be connected with the who's is who's, but I'm here now and I'm gonna take up my space. But that was difficult, I must say. It's not an easy decision to make. It's very easy to feel run out of the market. And then in the same breath, I had a lot of people copying my concept. And so you'd find all this, so there's Networking in Heels, which was the only networking space for women that was background agnostic, in the sense that if you come to Networking in Heels, you'll find doctors, you'll find journalists, you'll find farmers, you'll find entrepreneurs, you'll find lawyers, you'll find people from all kinds of career backgrounds, professional backgrounds. Whereas before Networking in Heels, they were only siloed. Like you find women in media, women in the women doctors, women journalists, women, people have been separated into different silos. So I became the melting pot. Like the Networking Heels became the melting pot where you'd find students, you find people between 24 years and 60 years in one room, all coming from different economic backgrounds, academic backgrounds, professional backgrounds. And so people started to copy the formula and the concept. And it was a bit frustrating, I must say, to the point that now I'd find myself running around to see, am I trademarked? Now that's when I'm realizing things like, trademark, license. Okay, I'd of course registered to run it as a business, but things like trademarks and copyrights and whatever. So it was very stressful to see that. But at the same time, I also knew that everybody has their own, let me call secret sauce. Everybody has their own secret sauce. Everybody has their own graces that help them do things in a different way from other people. So I really tried not to worry about people invading my niche. However, the challenge is that a lot of people who are invading my niche are heavily financed, whether they come from rich families or they have resources that I don't, or they have access to people and places that I didn't. So of course now they had a bigger advantage, and I could feel the heat when people are invading a niche that I created for myself. Because I feel like I actually know that at that time I literally created a whole different table that was not existing before 2011, so I can definitely accept. Oh, sorry guys, I started the event in May 12th, 2011, not 2012. So yeah, so before 2011, there was no such platform. There was no place for women to go, have a good time, enjoy a drink and dinner, and just have let their hair down under a professional banner. There was no such platform before in this Kenya of ours. So having done that was a big deal. But at the same time, when I was doing that, I did not know that I was the first. So it's how you break a record without knowing you're breaking a record. So you just keep going. And, many times I judge myself when something didn't go well at the event. I'm like, ugh, I need to do this better the next time. And being a bit of a perfectionist, I'm also very, hard hard on how I want my things to be done. So, I'm the kind of person who, when I go to an event and I notice they're giving only chai mandazi, I'm like, she, you call people for chai mandazi as if they don't have that in their houses, so I'm very particular with how my things are done. So when I used to attend other people's events, people are like, no, you need to go and visit other people's events so that you see you're not the best cook. And I go and I realize, guys, I'm not doing this. I'm way above, so I kept on like giving so much value, like just pushing myself all the time to give a lot of value, the caliber of speakers, the caliber of venue, the caliber of menu, even the caliber of conversations that are in the room. So these are things that kept me going, and just knowing that every time I hold an event, people go home having felt value for every coin that they spent to buy a ticket, and value for every minute that they spent coming to my event, the minutes that they spent at my event, and the minutes that they spent going back home from my event. Like none of that has to be a waste. Even the dress that this person has bought, they feel, yes, I wore it to the right occasion. Any effort that they made, maybe they passed by a salon to do makeup. I just wanted everyone to feel like, yes, even that makeup you put was worth it. Like, yes, it was just for the right occasion. Every hustle and bustle, every fuss you put, it was worth it to come do all that for my event. So, however, even with the struggles of doing all these things and not having like a shoulder to lean on, or a heavy bank to dip into, because money things. Many times I'll be very frustrated because you notice that you're trying to do the event and a sponsor pulls out last minute, things like that. And you find yourself, you're tight, you don't have money. A few times you have to, well, not borrow, but ask for longer credit periods. And sometimes they're not friendly, the terms. So there's a lot of things now that are easier to do as an entrepreneur in today's Kenya that were not possible in the Kenya of a decade ago, So now it's easy to do business as a solo entrepreneur. Even when you register on KRA, you can register a company and then, go and get funding, even a loan or something without too much collateral. Guys, I can assure you that now my bank is calling me. Hi, Violet. We want to give you money. We want to give you 3 million. And I'm like, but I don't have a car to give you. No, it's okay. We don't need collateral. Yet I can guarantee you the very same bank in 2012, no, in 2013, I needed to be bailed out because now I had an event sponsor pull out. It was not a lot of money, but it was a lot of money then. It was 200,000. I needed 200,000 only. And I knew that this money would come back even within a week. But my bank told me, bring land, title deed, bring whatever. And I'm like, but guys, you've seen I really always transact on this account. It's not like I'm not even a new account holder to you and everything. And I left that bank very humiliated. And they're like, no, we need someone to co-sign for you, who can co-sign for you. We need a big name. And of course, I don't have a big name behind me. So, unajua, we umetoka wapi, una jina kubwa. So, but now I can think the way, and I'm not the only one. There's a lot of young entrepreneurs who, so long as their bank is looking like they're transacting 1,000, 10,000, maybe even now and then at 20,000, 30,000, the bank is now thinking, okay, this is healthy. Let's offer this person a facility. And 10 years ago, that would not even have been a dream, So I like that things have changed and the struggles of yesteryears are gone. in that sense, but it really was difficult to do biashara. So I had those challenges. I had the challenge of people saying, yeah, we'll come, and then they don't come, and they break your heart because you're only human. And so I quickly learned that my customers are not my friends are not my customers. My family members are not my customers. Those ones are my fans. But my customers are the people who I'm doing this for, the people who buy into the vision, the people whose interests I serve, the people who put money on the table and say, I'm coming for this experience. These are people I should cater to. And I'm so glad I learned that quickly. So then I stopped getting hurt when my friends don't show up to my events. And there are a few times I'd be in the event and it's just a sea of strangers. And I quickly learned to appreciate them because I said, Allah, these people don't know me. They don't know my mother. They don't know my father. They don't even know where I come from. But they've all paid money to come and share a room with me and enjoy what I have to offer. So now those now became the people that I value the most. And I'm glad that I learned to value my customers early enough, because then if I hadn't done that, I would not have served them with love and care. I'd not have bothered to go all over and about for them and make sure that when I get a sponsorship, let's say from Nice and Lovely, I make sure we have lotions for them. We have to, and these are just, let me call them strangers, because these are names that I'm seeing for the first time and faces I'm seeing for the first time. But the fact that you've come, I want you to go home knowing that I love you and I care about you. And here is a gift for you. So, so I quickly learned that I'm not doing this for my friends or my family members. Those ones, if they come, they're an additional bonus. I'm excited, but I'm not stopping the show because they're not showing up. So, and then the other thing I also learned to do is to build up on the confidence of the track record, because I'd noticed that my friends who are guys, they go they go to investors even with a concept, an idea. Oh my God, it's not even on paper. They've not even written it down. They just go there with a story and start talking. Hey, wanatoka hapo na mapesa, wamepatiwa, yeah, Mike, I think you have the brains. Go do this thing. Now I notice like for us women, okay, maybe let me speak for myself. I hope I'm speaking for myself. So I noticed like for me, I have to go with track record. So what have you done I'm almost being asked, what have I done? Where have I been? What has my track record been literally? And I have to like stand on my head to confirm that I can do this thing. So I just noticed that, okay, fine. That's how it looks like it's working, but it's fine. So I make sure that everything I do it well. So that I pile on the success of last time to this time to that, like that. So then I'm more and more confident standing on a wider and deeper base of, a successful track record. But what I can also say that has really helped me along the journey is just trusting God and just praying. I don't know if you're all believers in here, but for me, I am. It has not always looked like I am a believer, but I am a believer. And one of the things I've done consistently is pray. I have prayed very embarrassing prayers. Those prayers that if somebody had you, they'd be like, are you normal? But we've always been told from the time we're small that God is our Father and He knows what we need. He just wants us to say it, So I got into the habit of just telling God, oh God, I need this. Oh God, I want the other. Oh God. And of course, at the end of the day, the lecture will be done. So it was very comforting to know that I have a place to just go and pour out my heart and all my frustrations, cry if I want to. But, it's just, and it helps that I was living alone. So once I get into the house and I lock my door and I close my curtains, then I'm not worried about who's coming in after me or going to knock on my door. So it's just my time to think, pray, plan, all those things. However, it's not been like an easy road. I've struggled with fatigue. I've struggled with loneliness. Like it's being an entrepreneur is such a lonely journey. It doesn't have to be lonely, Now I see entrepreneurs speaking out to each other more and more. And even if you're not in the same industry, I see people just reaching out for support more and more. And I love it But for me, I struggled with loneliness a lot because at the peak of my days, I think must have been like what, between the time I was 28 to 32, those were just very heady years for me. I was doing very well. I must say, I'm not going to hide it. I was doing very, very well in terms of building the brand. The brand was mwah, in a fantastic place. The money might not have been in an equally fantastic place, but my brand was in a fantastic place. However, I was very lonely because now I felt like I was digging into myself more and more to get the support. Of course, I'm praying, but you need that human touch. You need that shoulder to lean on. You need those people that you can touch and agree on with things. You need people who understand the life of an entrepreneur. But I felt like people who are gatekeeping their experiences, and everybody's trying to look like a boss babe in charge. All those things we used to say. I'm a babe in charge. No, I'm a babe in total control of herself, all those things. It's an acronym for bitch. I don't even know why we're saying that. It was terrible. But yeah, because now when you're saying you're trying to put on a front that you're in charge, then nobody's even gonna look at you like you need help or even ask you, how are you? Like, and mean it. Like, really, how are you? Because then you're putting on a front like everything is okay. And a lot of us were on that. We're all drunk on that control. We're in charge. We are good to go. And then when you get home, you're like, oh God, I need the escape button. I don't know what to do. So there's that loneliness and the fatigue of having to do it over and over and over again. And the audiences now, because they had tested the good things, they're also becoming a bit demanding. So when your audience is becoming a bit demanding, not that it's a bad thing, but back then, maybe I should have made sure that my team is more empowered. But I felt like this concept was so close to my heart. It was difficult to let it go to another person to like manage. Oh, and one thing I need to mention is that by this time, this is 2014, by this time, the partner who joined me in 2011 towards November now had left to go and do other things. She was now working in Toyota, and of course, I can't afford Toyota salaries. So so I had to let her go. And my PA, who had come to love so much and trust, had gotten hired by Coca-Cola. Obviously, I'm not competing with Coca-Cola salary. So also I had to let go. So it was not funny. So I was feeling like really cold and afraid because now I don't know if I want to trust again. If I want to start the journey with someone else, and as soon as their career is built, they go away. Of course, it sounds selfish to say, but that's what I was feeling at the time. And then the fact that even some people who'd come to replace them were taking a long learning curve. So I ended up doing a lot of the work instead of like them catching on and going on with it. So I was drained mentally, I was drained physically, I was drained financially, and I was also, my social battery was also draining because when you hold events, your social battery needs to be on 100%. So I started to feel like there's a few events I hosted and I was not okay socially. So I don't remember having a very good interaction with, the space. I don't think I gave my guests 100%. Maybe they didn't notice, but I noticed and I was like, oh, this is terrible. So, if they were very discerning, they'd have known, Violet is not at 100%, but I really tried. And it's a lot of work putting on a mask, so that kind of thing. But I kept going, and then I took a hiatus in December of 2016 because by then I started a family. My baby was born in January 2017. And so I said, oh, let me take a break. And then when the baby is born, I can start to rethink. Hey, the baby was born. The baby sat. The baby walked. The baby went to school. And we're still on break. The baby got a sister. And we're still on break, guys. It's so difficult to come back when you're taking that break, I swear. So I really struggled with that. But then now, thank God, now last year, 2023, around July, I got like the impression that I need to come back and do this event again. And then thank God by now December of last year, we did our comeback event. It was amazing. It was beautiful. I felt so affirmed. I felt so validated. I felt that I was not smoking something when I thought of coming back with it again. It confirmed to me that I was doing the right thing. And it was good. It was beautiful to have a full house and actually have sold out tickets. It was amazing. But I must say that in the period of the break, I really struggled. I struggled mentally. I also struggled socially in the sense that now people know me for, Madam Networking in Heels. And now I'm coming out of there. Oh, you're no longer doing networking in heels again. And some people don't know where to place you. They are wondering, do we still accord you a high level of respect, or where do we place you now on the societal? Is it hierarchy? Yeah. And it was crazy in that sense, but what to do? So I've seen both, being in the limelight, being out of the limelight, and just seeing the different treatment that you get, seeing the kinds of support that you get on either side, on both sides, and just experiencing the different. It's like a social experiment, I must say. It's like when you have a job and you don't have a job. There's how people treat you when you say, "Oh no, I'm not working now," and they kind of just start to. You hear them zip up their purses very quickly, lest you borrow their money. And when you have a job, they'll tell you, "Let's go for lunch," because they know you should be having something. They say you split the bill. So, so I went through that, and it's a very socially cold space. Now, when I did come back, it was literally again out of nowhere, because I did not like make an announcement and say, "Oh, the event is gonna come back this time next year," what have you. No, I got the impression. I got to work and I made an announcement, and in a month the event was on. So I know there's a lot of curiosity, like, where are you getting all these energies and all this, what to do, to do the event with and everything. But I'll say, I know it sounds cliche, and even to me it sounds cliche, but just by praying and trusting God for guidance, and doing your best, and just leaving it now. Okay, fine, me, I've done my part. The human, because God is not going to come down and tell me, take the DJ. He's not going to come down and tell me, I've picked the event for you or something. These things that God will do, and then I have to execute them in a human fashion. So that was really God. And I'm grateful for that, for coming back, and the opportunity to just see, just experience the energies, the excitement of people. But I also do know that when you're out there in the cold, people are calling you. Now they don't know, they should still call you CEO of Networking in Heels. They don't know where to place you. Is this thing coming back or not? Is this thing dead? Did this thing just fall off the map? So there's a lot of contempt for entrepreneurs when they seem to have quote unquote failed, because that it's considered a failure. Like, your business was booming, now no one is hearing about it, so we consider it a failure. All the reasons, legitimate or not, notwithstanding. So some things are painful to realize, that you have more value in people's eyes when you have a title. But I also, in that period, I learned to value myself. I learned to value myself in God, and just to know that, imagine, regardless of all these things, I'm still God's child, and He made me, and there's a purpose for why I'm here. And then, the not having a title stopped stinging, to the point that I was actually content and satisfied with the idea of never doing networking in heels ever again. I think that at the point now where I was like, okay, that, in fact, I'd gotten a point where I said, but those were ambitions of my youth, because I was a young lady doing that. And now by the time I'm getting this new impression, I'm literally 39 years old, so this year I'm 40. So you can imagine, from the time I was 26, the growth and the evolution of experience to now when I'm 40. So I was like, networking in heels, I used to do it when I was a young girl. And so I'd given up on it, literally. Not given up, but sort of like made peace with it never happening again as an event. And so now I feel like I'm in a new phase altogether. And one of the things that I really love for networking in heels is to start growing again with the 26-year-old so they can do another 14-year lap like mine, or actually better than mine. I don't want anybody to struggle like I did. But yeah, so I want to make what I desire for networking in Hills to be a sort of like a rite of passage. So that when you're done with your college or university or whatever it is, you're coming through networking in Hills and growing and being empowered, being mentored, making good connections, making good friends, and just having the adventure of your life in terms of your career and, you know, and personal life via the brand. And I'd like for it to be a brand that people think about. It is aspirational, it's a beautiful brand, but I also want it to be more than that. I want it to be a life brand. Okay. So that's what I'm looking out for with networking in Hills. And I'm grateful that God gave me the opportunity to do this, regardless of where I come from or who I know. I'm also grateful for the support I've gotten along the way. There's been quite a number of big names that have jumped on to my brand and as a platform. And because of using my brand as a platform, their names have lended more credence to my brand. And I also know that my brand has lended credence to them as well. So I'm appreciative of the fact that I have not always done it alone in terms of when push comes to shove, but I also do know that a lot of the heavy work, the trench work, I have done it alone. And that is what was causing me fatigue and loneliness, because I didn't know, are other people struggling like I am? Ama tu mimi ndio nafanya hii biashara vingumu. Is there a lift and I'm taking the stairs, you know? So, so yeah, I'm still looking for the lift. If you guys know of a way I can take a lift, let me know so that I make this journey easy and shorter. But thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you've learned a thing or two. I'm available for questions and answers. I'll try to be as candid as possible, but also not to discourage you along the way. I wish you all the best and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Violet. It has been interesting, exciting listening to you. Your story is so inspirational. Just looking at where you are coming from and where you are now, knowing no big name, having no money in the account, you know, but you still forged your way and now you're somewhere. I know maybe a young lady somewhere, or even maybe even a young man somewhere listening to you will get something that is going to help their life into the next level. Thank you so much for sharing so deeply and so openly. We appreciate. So we have people in here, and I think at this juncture, I'm going to allow us to ask any questions. If you have any questions you want Violet to attend to, this is the time now. You can just raise your hand. You can write it in the chat box so that she can attend to it. She has promised in the process of answering them, she'll make sure that she be of encouragement than a discouragement. So you can bring your questions on. And as people prepare to maybe share their questions, Violet, I would like to know, since you wrote your story and you have also had the opportunity to read from the other authors of How We Rise as a book, has anything evolved? Has anything changed? Has your perspective changed of how you look at yourself and the story you wrote? Could you please say something about that?
First of all, I was very excited to be part of the project. And to be very fair, what I feel is that I don't think I think I need that book on my own just to give more meat. I feel like that chapter did not do justice to the stories that we were meant to tell, but we have to start somewhere. So hopefully I'll do a bigger book. And you know, like just carry along my brothers and sisters in the journey, and especially the younger ones and even my peers, because I know that a lot of us, you know, we are at 40, and when we interact with each other, we realize, oh, my life didn't go there I wanted it to go. I know it's nice now, but this is not what I wanted to do. So there's a lot of those confusing places. And like I just met a guy, I used to know him when I was back in university. He did finance. That's not what he wanted to do, but he's made such a good career of it. And, you know, he's one of those Prado drivers in this Nairobi. But he just says, my God, it makes money. I have money, but wow, I wish I'd done law instead, you know? So those are the kinds of conversations. But I feel like definitely I'd like to write a longer book and tell my story more. So then I can go in depth. And yeah, I just feel like I really touched the surface. I literally just dusted the surface a little bit with this. Yeah.
Thank you. Should we say writing is addictive? Are you getting addicted? Is it,
Catch me while I have the energy.
or you're just diving? Yeah. Yeah, so that was a good place to begin from. And we are looking forward to reading the entire book. So if you were to write a book, will you still keep the title or you'll give it a different title?
I'll definitely give it a different title. Because now that was now in relation to networking in heels and the growth of it. Because now there's different phases of my life and different aspects of my life in between all that. There's even different songs. Like right now, if there's a song I listen to and I know, oh, that must have been back in 2013. And there's a song I listen to, I'm like, that was 2020 during COVID times, you know, like, so I even want to list the songs that have carried me throughout the years. So yeah. But I definitely give it a different title. Maybe not so serious. Maybe this one is so serious.
We are so waiting to read that book. So be working on it and wishing you all the best.
Dirty pressure.
I can see a hand up. Emma. Emma, do you have a question for Violet? Please go ahead.
Yes, I do have a question. Thank you, Violet, for gracing us with your presence and for your wonderful story. Yes, this chapter didn't do you justice. And listening to you saying or just saying all about your story in person, online, it's very intriguing and someone would want to hear all of it, even if it's just reading it on a book. We can visualize it by ourselves. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Emma.
Yes. So in your chapter, you have stated that in your early years when you're a child, you were so shy. So how do you think your shyness as a child has built you into this vibrant lady that you are right now, today, who can boldly take up tasks and do things for herself and impact others? And in those various times that you are pulled down or weighed down or felt lonely, how has that child impacted you to do all of these things that you're doing right now and overcoming all that shyness that you had, and still in everything that you're doing, you are kind to others, you're showing that kindness, you've expressed it in your book, in your chapter, and it's something very, very, very important in our lives and to everyone that you're interacting with. How do you think your early child has embraced you and has built you into this vibrant person you are?
Wow, Emma, wow. Do you have a day? Do you have a week to get the answer? Yes, I was a very shy child in when I was younger, but I must say at this point that I started to open up toward adolescence. I think adolescence favored me, so then I was able to open up, and also the fact that, like what I said to you earlier, the fact that I was doing well in school, I really did well in school, in primary school, and I did well progressively. So that sort of like added to my confidence. And then I remember now, for me to actually start opening up, because I was very closed, I was very tight closed. I remember when we were being taught how to read in class. I don't know if you did that in primary school. where you take a book and everybody reads a page or 2 pages like that. And so when I say to, because I used to read by myself quietly, now the teacher is forcing us to, read. And when you stand, it's your turn to read, turn the page. I remember we read Treasure Island, and the teacher has said, Violet, read. And when I finished my 2 pages, said, no, continue. And I remember reading 10 pages, and everybody else was reading 2 pages. And so the teacher now started encouraging me, read some more. And I noticed something there. And I'd be told, now you're the one to speak in assembly. And I was not even a prefect. So those kinds of things now started to add into me having a bit of confidence to express myself. And God bless that teacher, honestly, because at home, it's easier if you're quiet. As in, for any parent, it's easier when their child is quiet. And we were 5 of us. So I think my mother preferred munyamaze. So now the shyness started coming off. And then when I went to high school, I still had the bits of shyness. I still had the bits of reservedness. But now in high school, now it was like you just have to speak up. You have to be confident. When you're spoken to, you can't respond with undertones. You have to respond with, come out and say what it is that, give the answers properly. And so over time, I noticed that now I have a bit of a voice. And the fact that I had accumulated so much knowledge, courtesy of learning and reading, even just by myself, when you have the content, then you can speak up a bit more confidently. And also one of the things that I really thank my parents for, they really emphasized on us being kind to others. And I've noticed that having kindness as part of my brand helps me to be confident everywhere I'm going, because then I'm not looking over my back and wondering, here, maybe Emma lives around here, and I did her dirty last year. So I'm not worried about who I may have done dirty, because then, everywhere I've gone over the years, I've made sure to deposit a lot of kindness. I don't always get kindness in return, I must say. So, this is a jungle after all. But generally, I'm not looking out for myself in the sense that somebody might be wanting to say revenge or or do something bad to me or whatever. Not that I'm a saint, but that's the kind of thing I live with. But for the shy child that I was, I'm really grateful that I was shy back then, because then I was forced then to dig into myself and to build up my own reserves, to be able to do just things on my own without a crowd. I hardly have crowd. Even till today, I don't have crowds of friends around me. I know a lot of people, but I don't have like a group of friends to do things with. I still enjoy a lot of quiet time, a lot of downtime. I enjoy just disappearing into books. Like currently I'm reading, let me show you what I'm reading. I'm reading this book. It's called Small Worlds. I don't know if you can see it. So, and then this is where I've put my pencil up on the nimefika. So I enjoy just going into other people's worlds via books. So I still honor that little shy girl. And she also helps me keep my good manners around me. Shy people tend to have good manners. So, but it has been an evolution over time, and I still feel like I'm still evolving. But I remember those days I was so shy. I remember in class 6, I won a composition, an English composition writing competition, and the awards were at City Council of the City Council hall in town. And then when they called my name, I was just 11 years old. They called my name and I almost fell on the stage. I was so shy. People are clapping. I'm thinking, oh God, why am I the center of attention? But my name is on the list. My parents have come to support me, but I want to faint. So looking back, and that was so many years ago, looking back to now, when I'm able to just get on a stage and grab a mic, it's a world of a difference. But I really appreciate the transformation. But I still know that every now and then I turn into that shy girl, and do a few things that shy people do. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
Emma.
much for your answer. Doti, sorry for your interruption, Doti. And I have another question. if you allow me, before other people, I give other people a chance to also speak.
It's okay, you can go ahead.
Why? Okay, thank you. While you're on your journey, you faced loneliness and you felt like your friends were more free than you are, and they were so relaxed and comfortable. And you stated that your path is not the same as other people's. So you had your own unique path, and each and every one of us has one. So when you are feeling those emotions, and you began praying and noting them down. So can you kindly share with us the importance of just uplifting yourself? I know some people don't really value prayer as much as they should, but it's very important. And also how important it is for us to tell ourselves these little words that we all say that they are like, but they are very important still at the same time, like talking to ourselves and telling ourselves that we are enough, we are worthy, and just looking ourselves at the mirror and saying this, even if it's challenging and we feel like we're lonely. Like, how important is it for us, or just a normal person just going to work 9 to 5 jobs like your friends were? We all face those challenges at some point because we're all human. So just tell us, how important is that for us in our day-to-day life? Thank you.
So let me tell you guys, when you're 26 and running a business, 27, 28, and that's the time now your peers are starting to make headway in their career journeys. Now, remember, they have a solid salary, they have a salary to look forward to. They're not trying to be dusty and broke. unless of course they have very many obligations. But the regular, salaried person at that age literally is, they have time to go to the salon a few more times than you do. They can make their nails a few more times than you. Their pedicures always going to be on point. They'll wear the latest jewelry and earrings and whatever. And for you as an entrepreneur, you have to think a few more times before you spend a 50 bob. You have to think a few more times before you remove a 10K from your pocket for something. So it's easy to feel like the world is leaving you behind and to feel like you are on survival mode while other people are thriving. And it's easy to feel like you're dusty when other people are fresh and, looking like freshly watered leaves, So it can do a number on you. And I want to be honest about that. Entrepreneurship is rewarding in the sense that, you see the impact of your efforts. You see, you easily see what you're doing. You see cause and effect. However, it's frustrating in the sense that, when there's no money, there's no money. So it can literally be a matter of survival. Like, can be the difference between you sleeping hungry and, and being able to afford a buffet. And obviously, no one knows the mess that goes on in your mind except yourself and God, if you are a believer in God, that is. But I want to tell you that because this is your chosen journey, and I'm not saying that, okay, first of all, my biggest problem at the time, or rather my biggest challenge at the time, is that here in Kenya, people tend to have a binary sort of thinking that if I'm selling blouses and that's all I'm doing, I can't hold a job. And if I'm holding a job, then I can't do a business. It's sort of like we really, as much as we imagine that you're open-minded as a Kenyan society, we're not very open-minded. We don't encourage people to be doing business and to hold a job, or to hold a job and to do business. We want people to be on one path. Kama unafanya biashara, ufanye biashara. Kama unafanya job, ufanye job. So, it makes it so, it was, maybe now it's a bit easier, but for me, I really struggled with that. So you can imagine The times I thought, hey, I can apply for a job and just get a job. But then now also people just pump you with the ego of, hey, you're in Biashara, you're a big deal. So now being told you're a big deal, you're thinking, if I go to apply for a job, they'll refuse to hire me because maybe they also think I'm a big deal or something. But I need to survive. So those are the small challenges I was going through that were not really small. They were big. However, in those moments when you feel lonely, whether it's in your job, you can feel lonely in your job because maybe there's something you're doing that's different from other people, but you're still employed. So loneliness will come in. Maybe there's a project you're pursuing that other people are not pursuing, and so nobody's understanding, but you have to do it because you have to do it. So loneliness can come in via that. However, it's important to just know that you deserve the outcomes you're going for. You can be in a weight loss journey, for example. You deserve the healthy outcomes. So you have to remind yourself, you have to really confirm yourself and affirm yourself for yourself, not for other people. Because you see, the rest of us will cheer you on and say, hey, you look nice. Hey, nowadays you're balling, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's you and yourself at home. It's you and yourself in your pillow. It's you and yourself in your room. And so you really have to put reserves of such strong vibes and a strong foundation of your identity in yourself over and over again. It's not like 1 month you affirm yourself, 1 month you're motivating yourself, and then it's gone. No, this is like a daily shower. And the more you do it, the more you get used to it, and the more you can't stay without it. So you build your confidence knowing that, you know what, I deserve a good life. I deserve good friends. I deserve people who will not betray me. I'll deserve people who support me. I deserve good customers in my business. I'm worthy of good customers. I'm worthy of well-paying customers. I'm worthy of highly paying customers. If you're working at a job, say I'm worthy of an understanding and kind supervisor, a kind boss, supportive team members, not the ones who sabotage you. You're working on something, then you're told, hey, I think the boss is calling you, and you go, you come back, your sheet has been deleted. I mean sheet like an Excel sheet, please, I'm not cursing. The work you are doing has been deleted or something. So you really have to build up on your self-confidence slowly by slowly and day by day until a point that you're so strong that you actually have your own spine. You literally, it becomes like you're made of steel. So for me, I must say that along the journey of my life, I have met interesting people. So I remember one of my customers when I was doing the cleaning services. She's called Betty. Betty's the one who introduced me to this talk of madness. It sounded like madness talk when she introduced me to it. And she's like, Violet, so this business, what are you doing? How many customers do you have? How do they pay you? And of course, I started now lamenting. Oh, yeah, there's someone who's owed me money for 6 months and we still continue to do service for them. Oh, there's someone who's, so there's all these complaints. And because I was feeling like now I can be free with Betty. And she said, Violet, you have to write down in a book what you want, for yourself as an individual, for your business, for your marriage. I was not even married at the time. For your children, I didn't even have any child at the time. Write everything you want, even the kind of friends you want, write it down, and it's your personal and private list. So nobody has to ever see what you write. And of course, I went into, okay, so for my business, what do I want? I want highly paying clients. I want repeat clients. I want referrals. So and then as much as I said, on one page, I wrote, I want, that's what I want. And then I went, okay, do I deserve this? I'm like, yeah, I actually do. I think I deserve this. So I went into, I am worthy of all those things. And then with time, because now I was feeling like I'm getting lost. What is this talk? I'm a Christian. What's going on? And then when I went and told her, hey, me, these things don't sound like they're Christian to me. And she said, go into your Bible. And I actually realized that the Bible is full of affirmations for us, that for those who are Christians. And all these holy scriptures across the religions, different religions, actually are full of affirmations. So if whatever line of religion you follow, there's affirmations for you that can be directly quoted from the Bible. And the many times that I felt so fatigued, and she told me, hey, you're a Christian. Do you remember that they say that those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength? They shall, walk and will not be weary. They shall fly on wings as eagles. And I'm like, yeah, actually that makes sense. And so now I got more and more confident in writing the affirmations, and the times I felt like I was so broke and I'm wondering, God, what am I gonna do for money? I'm already living out of home. I'm not living with my parents by this time because the cleaning business started in tandem with me moving out of home. So now I'm not asking for rent anymore. Initially I was taking the sales jobs to buy lotions and lip glosses and nice dresses. Now I actually need money for proper bills, big girl bills, rent, bus fare because I didn't have a car then. And then I had an office in town, so now they paying for office in town, and my office was on Koinange Street at Kenya House. So that's a bit of a, expensive area of town because I'm near the Nairobi Safari Club. I'm on University Way, that kind of thing. So I didn't go small in that sense. So it was a bit hectic paying two rents. I have to feed myself. If I'm thinking of, the water in my tap, I'm the one paying it for. So paying for it. So it was kind of crazy. But now digging deeper into the Bible and seeing that, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's an affirmation, so and and the times when you're anxious, you're able to go into the Bible and see in Psalms 94, I think verse 14, if I'm not wrong. Let me confirm. I have a Bible here. Let me confirm so I don't mislead you. Should be Psalm. Sorry for those guys who feel like I'm preaching. I'm sorry. Psalms 94:14. It says, no, wait. Oh, no, that's not is it the one? Let me see. Because it says this, in my anxieties, Lord, you calm me down. I'm looking for that verse. Yes, sorry. Psalms 94:19. It says, when anxiety is great within me, your consolation brings me joy. So now I learned to do affirmations with and from the word of God. And it's not a work that has been done in a year or 2 years. It's been a work of over a decade. And I really thank God for that, because then I'm able to, to lean into God's word when I'm saying these affirmations and reminding myself that I'm worthy, I'm a child of God. The inheritance that, that Christ didn't just die for me to escape hell. Christ died so that I might live a life that is full and abundantly so. So those are the kinds of things it's exercise. I feel like it's a gym, you work out, sometimes you drop out and you become weak, and then you go back again, you become strong. So that kind of thing. So it's a dance of life. It's not perfect, but we have to participate. And it's very satisfying when you see good outcomes out of the efforts that you're making. And of course, by God's grace. Yeah. I hope I've answered you in a long and short way.
Yes, you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Violette, even for taking your good time to attend to that question. I know Emma is helped. We have another question that a hand was raised for a question. Maxwell, your hand was up. You wanted to ask a question. This is your opportunity. Please go ahead.
Oh, hello.
Hello, yes, Maxwell.
Okay. Can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Okay. So for me, I had some few questions, like 3, but short ones. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you for that informative session. It's a very good one. Though I joined late, sorry for that. It's because that I had some few issues, but I managed to sort them in time. So I was impressed by the poster that was sent to our group. It was about against the all odds. Yes, if I'm not wrong.
Out of
Yeah.
nowhere, literally.
Yes. Yeah. So the first question that I had, it was about what we call a mindset shift. I had a question concerning what mindset shifts are necessary to persevere when it seems like the odds are stacked against you? You know, sometimes in life that you might find that the odds is not on your side. Sometimes it can go against you. So what mindset shifts are necessary to persevere when it seems like the odds are stacked against you? And then the second question is about what you call the support system. We know how important it is to have a support system when facing a rough situations. Who are the key people in your life who help you overcome your obstacles? Because sometimes we know that in life we get challenges, but you know that not everyone is there to help you. We said that some people that in life you have challenges, 80% of the people are happy that you have the problem, and at least 20% are the ones who are concerned. So in your life, through the challenges that you went through, who are the right people that you managed to approach and they were able to support you in this life up to the point that you are at the moment? And then my last question is about what we call resilience building, whereby what are some of the practical strategies or habits that people can develop to build resilience in the face of the adversity? Because we know we face sometimes adversity in life. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Maxwell, for those questions. I had to write them down because they're important. About the mindset shift, I must say that, just knowing that you're unique and what you're offering the world is unique. I might run a cleaning services company, you run yours, but what you and I are doing are totally different. The outcomes are totally different. Even if we're both making 1 million shillings a month, it looks the same on paper, but what you're doing for your people to keep them coming is different from what I'm doing for my people to keep them coming. And those are the things that you need to know. Like, just know that comparison is a thief of joy. Every time I compared myself to my girlfriends or my former classmates or whatever, I'd be so miserable. I'd be so, I'd even lose creativity. I'd lose my spark, So one of the things to change in terms of your mindset is drop comparison. I'm not saying you will not see other people succeeding. You will see them, You'll be in a matatu, you see your friend driving past. That happened to me. It doesn't have to happen to you. Maybe God will bless you and you won't have to go through that. And I pray that that is it. You'll be there thinking there's a new hairstyle, and especially for us ladies, there's a new set of braids that have come in town. Hey, you'd like to do that? You go and ask at the salon how much it is. And then I start thinking, Yani Caro has the money like that. And you start getting affected. That's someone else. So really, comparison is a big thief of joy. And then the other thing that I adopted as a mindset shift was celebrating every small win. Like, if I win, I celebrate. I don't have to do a big celebration, but I have to really confirm to myself and affirm to myself, hey, yeah, you did well today. I'm away. That's progress. Every progress I make, I note the milestones, because then I felt like if I'm waiting until the day I buy a Prado, my friend, I'm now 40 years old. I don't have a Prado. So does that mean I don't celebrate myself? So celebrate every small win that you achieve. If you finish your project in time, celebrate it. If you finish your school in time, celebrate it. If you do a receipt and then you pass that receipt, celebrate it. It's those small things, and make it a big deal for yourself. Other people don't have to know what you're celebrating. You don't have to tell other people that you're celebrating or whatever, but you make a habit of affirming yourself and confirming to yourself that, yes, I'm here and I'm doing well. Today I did well. Last week I did well. I'm that kind of thing. So build that muscle in and in within yourself. It will now become second nature. As in, you'll find yourself, you're not leaning towards people complimenting you or hi. You will find yourself not leaning towards people complimenting you or noticing your achievements, because you've already noticed them for yourself and you've already affirmed them for yourself. So if I come and tell you, hey, Maxwell, congratulations, you'll be like, yeah, cheers. You'll be happy that I've congratulated you, but you already have been happy with yourself. because you noticed yourself. You understand what I mean? So learn to notice yourself and congratulate yourself. Even if you feel that thing is small, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. So notice yourself and congratulate yourself, and don't compare yourself with other people. Even if you're 50 and you haven't bought the Prado, it's still okay. Because for me, I still believe God can do something for me suddenly. It's in the Bible. So the God of suddenly is still sitting on the throne. He can do big things for you. However, maybe that's not what he wants for you, and you still have to be okay with the journey because you're here to experience it all and enjoy it all. The other thing I can say now for support system, yes, I did not have like, say, big names like, say, the late Chris Kirubi, saying, what do you want for your event? I'm writing you a check, whatever. But in that sense, but I just know that, you know how they say success has many fathers and failure is an orphan? I've experienced that. And those are the times when I needed support when I was doing well, and also needed support when I was not doing well. It's the truth of life. So in the times when I was doing well, I got good support in the sense that when people feel like you're, oh, sure, when people, sorry guys, talking to my child. When people are feeling like you're doing a good thing, now they offer you a lot of, ideas and all that. So I tended to like be very open to hearing everybody's ideas when I'm on the top, because now in that multitude of words, there was a lot of good things being said. Because now the reverse is true, that the times when I slipped and fell, and I've had very nasty failures in this journey of mine, the times that I've failed and dropped down, the crowd that was advising me and congratulating me are not there. It's the same way we did for Eliud Kipchoge. When he did not finish his race, we are there condemning him and calling him a limping goat. And then when he was busy there winning for us, we're like, yeah, this is the greatest of all time. We didn't call him goat, we call him the greatest. So it happens and it's sad. So when things are good, it's like you're making hay when the sun is shining. When things are good and people are coming around you, you note everything they're saying. And then now later you confirm, are these ideas worthy? You research on those ideas, and you can use them in the future to build yourself or to build a business. But in the times when things were really low, and they have been low, I have been fortunate to lean upon my family, my siblings. So we're 5 of us. So my siblings have really been there for me, and my mom and my dad also. And like very few friends who in that season, again, they're also very funny friends, like people who, when things are down for you, excuse me guys, there's noise. Sorry people, so sorry. Sometimes when things are down for you, people will come around you to support you also. It's like, remember like the story of Job in the Bible, when he had all these friends around him when he was doing badly. And while they might have been giving him good advice, it was also, and giving him well-meaning advice, it was also very bad advice. So over time, I learned to lean more on tried and tested, which is God, and basically just digest my fears and frustrations with very, very few people. And mostly I just kept it to my family and my siblings. Yeah, because quite a number of times I'll tell, maybe I go to Doti, oh, Doti, this is happening. Kidogo, tomorrow you see it on a blog, in the form of a story. Someone is running your story in a blog. So those are the frustrations. But yeah, Maxwell, it's okay to just keep it to very few people. And I don't know how deep you are in your journey with Christ, if at all, but you'll find that Christ will not disappoint you. And he'll always, because it says in the Bible that he sends us help from the strongholds of Zion. I found myself with sometimes people who I never talk to so much, but they really, really stand with me. They walk with me. And when I'm done in that dark period, they sort of like, now they lean back and help and just let me enjoy or rather continue with my journey. And the people who are not very well meaning, as you said, because they've been those ones, people who come around me trying to know what it is I do, how I do it, they quickly just get exposed. Again, when you learn to lean on God, because you don't see everything, He sees everything. So you find that someone even exposes themselves as they're talking, and they're like, they'll make a comment or do something, and you realize, okay, this person is not on my side, but they like being around here for the potential opportunities that will come with that. Because I remember there's a time at my events, the well-known Caroline Mutoko was a speaker. So she came to speak a few times, and people were like, hey, Violet knows Caroline Mutoko. Wow, 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 wow. So I found myself having many friends, but I didn't know it's because they want to use me to access her, that kind of thing. So, someone just said, hey, you Violet, it doesn't matter what you do, I'll always just be around you because it looks like there's good things around you. It sounds like a nice statement to be made, but it's actually a very bad statement. It means that the moment you're not producing that kind of value for them, they're gone. Yet you really do desire a support system that loves you, whether it's raining or shining. Eliud Kipchoge right now is not popular in Kenya because he did not finish his race. But you see, he deserves support, even in this time when he's not doing well in terms of athletics. For 20 years, he's run for this country, and we were very happy to brag with him. And then in 2024, we are not, So think of it like that, because you are an athlete. Your life is a whole race on its own, with its own up and down. So you really do need the kind of people that will be there for you, and people who are there not just for you, but they love you and support you genuinely, regardless of whether you're winning or losing in that season. Because this life, we are doing it in seasons. Kuna very nice seasons and very boring seasons in our lives. So it also ties to the point of building resilience. So you build resilience by learning to know that you don't depend on a multitude of friends or multitude supporters. You build a small circle, a tight circle. I'm not saying that don't be friends or friendly with everybody, but just try your best. I know I have tried and failed many times. There's times I've been excited to have all these people around me. It's human. But with time, you realize that when they're not there, you feel so weak. It's like you're losing your resilience. And so learning to, like when I was saying earlier to Emma, I learned to quickly go back to the ways of the shy girl that I used to be. The shy girl doesn't have a large crowd around them, so they learn to do things on their own. They can go to the mall on their own, shop on their own. They can go to the salon on their own without carrying a friend or a best friend. Nipeleke. So learning just to be by yourself, do things by yourself, and even calling yourself, as we say in Kiswahili, kujita mkutano. So unajita mkutano tu polepole na usichelewe hiyo mkutano. Tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself, here I have been lazy. Here I have skipped this. Here I have not done this. It's a very private meeting. No one is there to judge you. Don't even judge yourself. Just say facts, and then start to even pick up good habits, because good habits are part of the resilience building. Eating well, sleeping well, learning to mind your money, mind your mouth, and mind your mind, mind your emotions. So when you control how you speak, control how you're spending your money, control your feelings, control your reactions to things, these are things that help you with resilience building, so that then you have a muscle. Even when the big things come, or maybe you're facing a public embarrassment, you're able to still keep your head high, not out of arrogance, but just knowing that this too shall pass. Because nothing is permanent. The good times are not permanent, and the bad times are not permanent. So that helps you to build resilience, to know that yatapita, and you keep going. And when the good times come, you pray they stay a bit longer, knowing but pia hivi hizo zitapita too, so because you're here on a journey, all of us as human beings. I hope I've answered you, Maxwell.
Even as we come to the close of today's session, Maxwell has another question, and I think partly you have touched on it, even as you talked about resilience. He says, how can you deal with self-doubt or fear of failure?
That's such an important question. It's also a hard question to answer. because a lot of things are contextual. Everybody has their own context, everybody has their own situation, and everybody has their own idea of what success looks like and what failure would look like for them. So I'd start with really getting clarity on, okay, what is success to me? Is it running 100 meters in a minute or running 100 meters in seconds? What does success look like to me? And just going back to, again, comparison being a thief of joy, to someone who has never run a marathon before, completing, whether it is in 4 hours or 5 hours, just finishing is a very big deal. And that is successful. To someone who's a pro, if they run a marathon in 3 hours, now they're not doing well, because they're supposed to maybe do it, 2 hours, or rather under 2 hours is the biggest deal, or rather the shortest time. So you just have to define for yourself what success looks like. What will make you sleep at night saying, yes, I made it, And is it for you? Is it for your mother? Because again, we need to make our mommies proud. A lot of us like to make our parents proud. Is it for your neighbors? When you buy that car, is it to teach your neighbors, or is it to move you from place A to place B? So just determine what success looks like for you and what really gives you joy. Because when you go after the things that give you joy, you find yourself in a better flow. And then you'll realize that because life is an adventure, the things you want to start, the things you're afraid of failing at, maybe what you can do so that you also sort of have an insurance plan or a way to ensure that you don't fall so hard in case you fall, and you will fall. Start small. Just start small and then continue building. And as God is sending you help from Zion, you're building. I like that you're even on Zion Pal, on a Zion platform, so I can use that word freely. Yeah. So just start small, continue building, and keep on adding, small by small, mort by mort, and you realize that you've done very big things with time. I think for myself, one of the pitfalls that I've encountered with myself is that I like to do big things. Like me as Violet, I like to do big things. So they really scare me, and I end up procrastinating or just dropping all those dreams altogether and running away from them. But now, as I'm saying this to you, is because I've actually learned to just, it's okay to take things a step at a time. And this is lessons for myself that I'm even sharing with you. A step at a time, a day at a time, and test ideas, see what sticks on the wall, see what falls, like that. Instead of, I want the whole big thing, and then I end up not even getting anything at all. And you find that I'm still where I was 10 years from now, which would be pathetic. So yeah, let's keep trying. And as it succeeds, we build on that success. If something fails, we quickly mend it and keep moving. Yeah. And of course, prayer, grace, God's grace.
Amen to God's grace. Thank you, Violet. It has been an awesome time just listening to your story and just keenly listening to how you're giving attention to those questions. They have spoken to me as well, and I think to everyone else that has been part of this meeting. We appreciate your presence with us today. Thank you for being so open and honest. Your story is interesting. Your story is such a huge inspiration. The story itself, minus many other things, is enough to cause somebody to rise from nothing to something out of nowhere, literally. So thank you so much. We are glad to have had you. With that, we come to the end of our session today. But before we close, I just want to let us know that How We Rise, the book How We Rise, is available for purchase. You can get it directly from Zion Pearl Publishers bookstore, or you can also get it on Amazon.com. The book is available. You'll get to read, for those who have not read the book yet, you'll get to read from Violet, and now you already have an idea and a picture of what you're going to encounter in that book. Plus, she has promised that she's going to work on something beyond that one chapter. She feels like that was too little for her to express herself, but it was a good place to start from. Thank you so much. We will be making public the date when we shall have our next webinar. Until then, from Zion Pearl, we thank you for anyone who joined in, and for those who will get to watch this later. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Violet, do have a good evening, and to everyone else, a good evening to you all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice evening.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
I see you.
Okay, and keep rising. See you soon.
See you.
I should.